The war has already been won. But it requires you to do some hard work. It does. And it sucks. I hate hard work. This kind of hard work is the 40-day and 40-night plan. This is the plan I believe will be the blueprint for national survival. And I tried to come up with a way that will help you remember it, and because it looks a little complex here. I believe Thomas Jefferson, he was into codes and puzzles. He loved puzzle boxes. Now, I'm not saying this is a code, because I don't know if it is. But I think we the people on the Constitution, I think that's a code. I really do. I think they were like, oh, gee, people are going to forget their way. What do we do? Make we the people really big, because that's the answer. I look at this as a code on the way out from Thomas Jefferson. With a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. Now, we've taken this, it's up on the website at glennbeck.com and foxnews.com, but reliance, confidence, trustful dependence, reliance not on the government but on divine providence. What is divine providence? Divine providence, God, religious, sacred, a guidance of God over the creatures of the earth. So God is looking over us. Firm reliance, confidence, dependence on God. We mutually pledge to each other our lives. Pledge, solemn promise delivered as a security for the fulfillment of a promise, subject to forfeiture if failure to pay or fulfill the promise. We pledge to each other our lives. A state existence conceived as belonging to the soul. Our fortunes, wealth or riches, and our sacred honor, honesty, fairness, integrity, high respect, merit. How do you do that? How do you do that? It's easy. There are 4 steps on this. And in a minute, I'm going to show you some people that have already started this, and I'm telling you it's changing lives. Be the change you want to see. This election, you must get out and put your foot in the door, so the door doesn't close on the American experiment. But I don't have any trust in the Republicans being any better. Well, yeah, I do. I'd like to see the Democrats actually take their party back. I don't have any confidence that the Republicans are going to get this or get the job done. Do you? I just know that somebody has to put their foot in the door. It might be a Republican, it might be a Democrat. It's not going to be a progressive. But put your foot in the door before they close the dream. So how do we do it? Be the change that you want to see. Step 1, ask yourself, does God exist? Why does he exist? How do I know he exists? Did somebody tell me? Or did I question with boldness and know he exists? Do I know him? Who am I to him? And I've asked you, pray on your knees once a day. Please, let your kids see it. It will change the way you change your relationship. It will. But do you have to believe in God? Do you have to go to church? No. I've used this example over and over again. I know it drives him crazy. Penn Jillette is a good guy. He's an atheist. Carl Sagan, he was an atheist. It's okay to be an atheist, as long as you understand self-regulation. Me? No, not so much. Religion is also wildly dangerous when coupled with government. It's important that you have a libertarian view. You want to be an atheist? Be an atheist. You want to be a Catholic? Be a Catholic. I don't care. Just self-regulate. Read the farewell address of George Washington. 2, with firm reliance on divine providence, if you don't know what you believe, when you're down in those icy waters, when this thing starts to tank, how are you going to have firm reliance on something that you're like, I'm pretty sure? We mutually pledge to each other. We make a pact, our lives. What does that mean? Step 2, do the hard things. Except that we all may ask at some point, have I not yet done enough for my country? The line from George Washington. Do little things for your family. Remember, charity begins at home. They're your first 2 steps. When I come back, I'll do step 3 and step 4. And then I'll show you some people that have actually done this, and they're seeing results in their own life. It starts with you, then goes to your family, then goes to your community, your state, and finally your country. It's lasting restoration. Back in a second. All right. 40-day, 40-night challenge, a blueprint for national survival. With firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. That's the key. That's the key. In 40 days and 40 nights, be able to say that and mean every single word of it. Step 1, does God exist? You can't have reliance on something that you don't believe in. Do you believe? Why do you believe? Not faith, firm reliance on divine providence. We mutually pledge to each other. We promise our lives. What did I say? That's step 2. You got to do the hard things. You may not be able to do the things you wanted to do. Your life may change. George Washington said, when they came and said, it's falling apart, you got to come back. After winning all the wars and giving up his whole life since 16, he said, have I not yet done enough for my country? We may all have to say those things. And promise each other our lives. Do little things for our families. Charity begins at home. Step 3, accept that we have to pay for what we have done and spent. I know that's a crazy idea. But, you know, Harry Truman, he went bankrupt. When was it? 1926, something like that. He went bankrupt, and here's what he did. He paid it back. Him and his friend, they paid it back. I think it took him until 1939 to pay it back. There's no easy way out. As a country, we have to pay it back. We may not be able to have that house, the car, or the retirement that we wanted or were promised. We may not. But as a child of, or as a father of a child of special needs, I know this to be true. I know Americans, when they see their children, will do the tough thing and say, give it to me. I'll do the hard work. Let them have an opportunity. We must do that. Tithe 10%. Do you believe in it or not? I don't care if you give it to a church or PETA. Give it. Why? Because if you believe in small government, someone must take care of the needy. It better be you. It has to be me. Otherwise, we're hypocrites. Tithe 10%. And step 4, stop all dishonesty in our lives, including the lies we even tell ourselves. And boy, as a guy who told lies to myself and everybody I knew for most of my life, it will change your life. 40 days and 40 nights. It will change America. How do I know? I'm beginning to see the evidence from you. I'll show you next. I'm asking you to take the 40-day, 40-night challenge, and I want to show you how it begins. This is what fundamentally transforms America and restores her promise. First letter comes in from Florida. Lewis, thank you, Mr. Beck. I have not spoken to God for 6 years. I lost my wife in 2004. She was a specialist in the Army, and we have 4 children. After me and my 2 youngest went to your rally, I spoke to God for the first time in 6 years. We prayed with a Mormon and a Baptist, of who I didn't know. I'm Jewish. Thank you and all the wonderful people that attended this event for returning me to God. I feel like a lot of guilt and sin has been abated. My children, their grandmother has taken them to temple every week since 2004, but I have not gone. Also, thank you for giving me the strength to speak with God. He says, again, I have held so much anger for all these years. I feel like the anger is gone now. Thank you. Guy Tim, he writes me from Virginia. He's a recovering alcoholic. He's embraced the 40-day, 40-night challenge. He said, another thing that I've learned in the 40-day challenge is that I have found that my calling is to help others, to be useful to another human being. I am now enrolled in training and plan to volunteer at a local rescue squad. I can't keep the gift of spiritual freedom that I'm experiencing. I have to keep giving it back every day or I lose it forever. You are exactly right. You know, I said to the audience in Anchorage, Alaska over the weekend, I believe this audience has a different role to play. I believe the people that watch this program, listen to my radio program, or just getting it through osmosis, I think you're going to be the ones that are just helping other people. Faith. Know what you believe. And have firm reliance on whatever it is. Hope. tell the truth in your own life, and charity, be of assistance to other people. If you do those three things, if you take that 40-day and 40-night challenge, it's going to change everything. And you will become the change that you seek. Back at Final Thought. All right, on tomorrow's program, I want to spend some time on violence and Cloward and Piven. We can look to the unions over in the United Kingdom and find out what's coming here. That's tomorrow. From New York, good night, America.